Hi there guys, welcome to Boxpred. I want to take a look at the fight happening this weekend between David Morrell and Alantez Fox. The fight is for WBA's regular super middleweight title, but I think the less said about that the better really. The only reason I really wanted to cover this fight was to put a bit of a spotlight on David Morrell, because he's only had 5 professional fights. He's a Cuban with an amateur background, not as decorated in the amateurs as some of the guys we've seen come through over the years in the pro game. I think he was 2017 Cuban national champ, and then he's turned professional in 2019. His amateur record was 49 wins and 5 defeats. I think he did reach a previous national champ final, but he lost it. He's got this sort of fast track thing going on. He's only 23, so he's still pretty young, but he's already got this regular version of the WBA World Super Middleweight title. Let's just take a look through his record. In his debut, he stopped a guy in the first round. That guy had a losing record of 2 wins, 6 losses. So a typical debut you'd expect really against a guy you'd give him a chance to beat. The second fight against a guy called Quinton Rankin was 15 wins and 6 losses, 2 draws. Stopped him in the second round, had him down in rounds 1 and 2. Then he came up against an unbeaten fighter at the time, Lennox Allen, who had a look at a little bit of the footage of that fight. Looked a little bit like a slicker boxer, could give you some problems, and he beat Allen over 12 rounds convincingly. At the time, Allen had 22 wins, no losses and 1 draw. I don't think he particularly held a lot of power, but that was a good fight for Morrell, because these guys were just starting out. In his third fight to go 12 rounds, when he's had amateur career of just doing 3-rounders and then a lot shorter fights, that was good to see that he could go 12 rounds, have the stamina, and to shut a guy out as well. And I don't think Allen was a bum by any means. He was a guy who could give a test. That looks like a pretty decent win on his record so early on. That was in 2020, and then in late 2020 he stopped a guy in the third round, Mike Gavronsky. That guy was 26 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. So again, a guy with a winning record, a decent winning record, a decent guy to be facing in your third fight. And then in his last fight, he won this regular title by first round stoppage against another unbeaten guy, Mario Abel Cazares. And Cazares had done a technical decision or something against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in his fight previous to that. And Morrell was able to dispatch him very early on. Some really nice straight left-hand shots. So I want to take a look at his challenger in this, Alantez Fox. The positives: he's tall and rangy, okay? He's 6'4". He's got a 79-inch reach. He's a tall guy. He has decent hand speed. At times he can throw some good quick punches. That's about it really. His jab is weak. He doesn't have the type of jab to keep you off him. And to compound that, he can't fight inside. His arms are too long and he really struggles inside. He's vulnerable to straight shots as well, and Morrell throws very good straight shots. So if you look at the Liam Williams fight, that's the one you want to look at. If you want to look at Alantez Fox and see his weaknesses, look at the Liam Williams fight. Liam Williams was out jabbing him, and it is against a taller, rangier guy who you'd think would have his jab out at you all day. Liam Williams, as we know, come forward aggressive, was using a jab, and he was catching Alantez Fox with really good straight shots regularly. So that is the first red flag. And then later on, as Liam Williams gained the front foot and started closing the gap, Alantez Fox just didn't have an answer. He can't fight up close. Really struggles, was turning away, trying to get away, didn't know what to do. And Liam Williams had his way, and then he caught him with some nice shots, and he stopped him in the 5th. So in this fight, I'm going with David Morrell to win the fight by stoppage. I'm going to go with it in the first half of the fight. He's got guys out of there early so far, and the one guy took him the distance. But I think Alantez Fox just has the weaknesses that Morrell can exploit. Those straight shots, look for that left hand, that left power hand. I think Morrell can beat him with the jab, because I don't think Alantez Fox has a good jab. Alantez Fox will be on the back foot, expecting Morrell to be front foot, expecting to be hunting him, and I think that Alantez Fox could try and move and stay away from Morrell, but I just don't think he has that jab to dictate the fight, not to set up his shots. He just doesn't have the game to beat Morrell. So I'm going for David Morrell to win this by early stoppage, and it'll be interesting to see where Morrell goes from here. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.